Hey, you, if you need help moving on, you have to understand these three things. But before I get into these three things, I need you to understand this. Moving on sucks. It's a process. It's hard, especially when you're trying to move on from something or someone that you care about, you love, you've been around, you got history with, you got years with. It's not easy. So give yourself some grace. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to feel all the feels. You're not a robot, you're a human. So don't feel shame or guilt because you're hurting. Hurting is a part of the process when you're moving on. But I want to talk about three things today that can help your journey with moving on a little bit easier. Number one, if you're trying to move on, you have to understand this. Moving on is less about what you're moving on from, and it's more about what you're moving on to. I want to repeat that. It's less about what you're moving on from, and it's more about what you're moving on to. I see so many people, and I've coached so many people that make the mistake that they think moving on is about moving on from their past. They focus on their past. They focus on the person. And I'll just tell you this truth. What you focus on, you will feel. The goal isn't to get over them. The goal is to get through your situation, to get through the healing, to get through. It's not to get over them, because as long as you're trying to get over them, you will never get over them. You got to focus on what serves you. Stop asking the question, how do I get over them? That's the wrong question to ask that will prevent your moving on journey. Start asking this question. How can I take advantage of this new beginning? What is this new beginning going to mean to me? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself, how can I love myself more? Right? The common theme there is not about them, it's about you. So stop focusing on them and put all the focus and attention on you. Number two, if you're trying to move on, you have to understand moving on doesn't mean you know where you're going. Moving on means you know where you're not staying. Hey, you, do me a favor real quick. We'll get right back to the video, but please subscribe. I need your help to spread the word. Please hit the notification bell. Please like the video. Please comment, all the things. It helps us so much. And oh yeah, if you need more help in moving on, then go to rehabuniversity.com or TrentShelton.com and enroll in my program, The Art of Moving On. It will give you all the steps you need to efficiently and effectively move on with your life. Let's get back to it. Moving on doesn't mean that you know where you're going. It means you know where you're not staying. I see so many people stay in things they want to move on from, they need to move on from, they should move on from, but they don't move on from it because they don't know where they're going. They allow the unknown to keep them in the known. They allow the unknown new beginning to keep them in the pain that they know they don't deserve in their life, or to keep them in a situation that they know is no good for their life. It's not about knowing where you're going. The journey will reveal that. As you continue to work on yourself and love yourself and appreciate your journey, it will reveal where you're going. The journey will always honor that. But you got to know where you're not staying. It's kind of like that mindset where you be like, I don't know where we going, but I know I ain't staying here. I don't know where we going. You ever did that with a friend? Or you be somewhere? I don't know where we going, but I know for a fact we ain't staying here. You got to have that mindset, because so many people stay trapped in a situation that they don't want to be in because they don't know where they're going. Moving on is less about knowing where you're going, and it's all about knowing where you're not going to stay anymore. Number three, if you want to move on, you have to understand this. When the future is compelling enough, and this piggies back off of number two, when the future is compelling enough, you'll naturally let go of the person, thing, etc. that was not enough for you. When the future is compelling enough, you will naturally let go of the person or thing that was not enough for you. The thing that I challenge people so often is to go find out. Go find out your life without that situation. Go find out your life without that thing, without the thing you think you need or depend on, or the thing that you don't want in your life no more, the thing that you hate that's keeping you from loving yourself. Go find out your life without it if that's what you want to do. If you made up in your mind that this is not it, and I know for a fact, then go find out your life without it. And I want to tell you this too as a side note, because so many people have shame around moving on. And I want to say this, moving on doesn't mean giving up. It means that you had enough. Okay? Moving on doesn't mean that you gave up. You probably tried plenty of times. That's not giving up. That's trying. It doesn't mean that you gave up. Don't let people shame you with that. Don't let people guilt you with that. It means that you had enough. So my challenge for you right now is to create a compelling future. Write it down. What's some goals that you want to achieve in the next 3 to 6 months? What's some ideas that you want to go do? Show yourself that you're worth it. That's the best ingredient in moving on, is to show yourself that you're worth it. Because I'll tell you what happens. You build confidence in you, and you start to realize, I can survive, I can thrive, I can elevate my life without that thing in my life. That thing that I was so dependent on and codependent on, I realized that my life is better without it. And once you get to that place where you're elevating your life without it, where you're growing your life without it, where you're happier and enjoying your life without it, you will move on forever and you will never look back. But like I say at the end of every single video, it all starts with you. Get in the comments and let me know what you think. Share this with a friend. Tag this with somebody, to somebody that needs to move on with their life and they're having trouble doing so. It's rehab time. Let's get it. Straight up.